Yes, it's Tuesday, which means it's time for a tutorial. And today we're going to do something slightly different. We're going to try and engage with DeFi, but without spending any money, not any real money. And how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to use InstaDapp. What is InstaDapp? Well, it's a dashboard for you to manage your DeFi portfolio, wherever it may be. And it's a pretty smart thing. It connects to MakerDAO, it connects to Aave, Uniswap, Curve, DidX, and Kyber. And essentially, because all of these protocols are composable and they're permissionless and trustless, you can build a dashboard like this, and it allows you to see all of your positions in one place. You might have heard us talk about Zapper. This is a similar kind of thing. All of these platforms do it in a slightly different way, but essentially it's designed to make your DeFi journey a little bit easier to see, because if there's lots of different protocols that you're engaged with, just going to those individual protocols web page is a bit of a pain in the bum. So don't let high gas costs keep you out of Ethereum. At Balancer, you can trade all you want and get most of the gas costs back in your pocket. In their new BAL for Gas campaign, traders are receiving 6 figures worth of BAL tokens every week. And with version 2, Balancer is becoming the one-stop shop for DeFi liquidity. Balancer version 2 brings stable pools and weighted pools tightly integrated under a single protocol, flash loans, lending via asset managers, and much more. Check it out at balancer.finance. All we do is click on the dashboard, and you might have to connect your wallet. And if we look at InstaDapp right now, you'll see that on the left-hand side, we have the different protocols that we can connect with, like Maker, Compound, Aave, and Uniswap. And you'll notice that all of them are grayed out, apart from Aave. And why is this? That is because I'm connected to Polygon right now, because I've been using Matic and I've been using QuickSwap a lot last week. So I'm actually connected to Polygon, but that just shows you that Aave, right now, live on Polygon, and you can do all of the lovely things that you want to do on Aave. Not as many of them as you're expecting, as you'd be used to on Ethereum, but you can. So you can supply and borrow ETH, DAI, USDC, Tether, Bitcoin, that's wrapped Bitcoin, Aave, and Matic itself. So that's kind of nice, but we're actually going to switch over to the Ethereum mainnet. And if you didn't know how to do that on MetaMask, you click on the Fox here, click up here on the network, and select Ethereum mainnet. Simple. And then the whole dashboard switches over to this. So this is a live view of what you can be doing, but we're not going to use that right now, because what we're interested in is the simulation mode. And that is a way for you to try out lots of different DeFi strategies completely risk-free. Now, there are a few limitations to this. Obviously, it's not real money, obviously, but it will allow you to at least get some idea of what it's like to supply or borrow on Aave, or to supply liquidity on Uniswap, lots of different things. So how do we get there? We all know the feeling of paying high fees and waiting for transactions to confirm when interacting with DeFi. Well, no more. Solana has built a fast, censorship-resistant blockchain where you can build and use crypto apps that scale today. The network supports thousands of transactions per second with fees less than a cent and over 500 validators. To learn more, head over to solana.com/Defiant to get started building and join its rapidly expanding community. And this week is Solana Week on the Defiant. Well, if you go on the right-hand side, it says try in simulation mode. There's a little info button that comes up here, which gives you a very important thing. It says simulation mode creates a fork of the Ethereum mainnet. And in simulation mode, all transactions are sent to that forked blockchain, and it doesn't affect the mainnet. And note that the fork expires in 30 minutes. So you can't just sit there and expect to see yield over 24 hours. But what you can do is try the different flavors of DeFi protocols in whatever way you want. And what's really fun is that they give you 100 ETH. Genuinely. So what we're going to do now is click try in simulation mode. And what that's going to do is, I acknowledge that I am in fact in simulation mode. And here you go. It says your MetaMask wallet is updated with 100 ETH to test. I'm rich, yow! 100 ETH, what's that? I think ETH went past 3,000 last night. Wow. Yes, it did. Well past $3,144 per ETH. Madness. When I started in crypto, ETH was worth about 20 bucks. Goodness me, how things have changed. Well, there you go. So that's quite a lot of money It's like 300 grand. So what we're going to do is acknowledge that. And now we are running in simulation mode. And we're going to click on balance here, and it should say, yes, here we go. So our balance is now $314,470. And that means that you can actually start doing some real things because you've actually got some collateral to play with, which is nice. So what can you do? Well, I guess we could, for instance, on other V2, we could supply some ETH. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to supply 10 ETH to Ava and supply it. And that's it. It's as easy as that. So what else might I want to do? It's just updating the account data here. What else might I want to do? Oh, I might want to borrow some DAI. I'm just going to let that do its thing. It's actually pretty quick in simulation mode, as you'd hope. There we go. That's updated. So now it tells me that my positions on Ava, I am supplying a chunk of ETH, $31,458 worth of ETH. And now I'm going to borrow some DAI. So you've got two options here. You've got a variable APR, you've got a stable APR of 15.39%. It was a little less earlier this morning. So the annual percentage rate, stable rates can be rebalanced in response to changes in market conditions. Well, DAI is a pretty good bet for a stable APR. We're going to borrow 10,000 DAI. You'll see why in a second. Remember your first DeFi transaction. After juggling 5+ tabs on your browser, you gaze at that Etherscan confirmation, feeling like you just contributed to the future of finance. Except you got quickly lost in a world of gas prices, vaults, pools, hard forks, degens, and sushi chefs. Fear not. Zerion has built the dream tool for managing your portfolio. Track all of your token balances across wallets and chains, access every kind of DeFi asset, including indexes, pools, and yield strategies, and trade at the cheapest rates with no extra fees. And that's because Zerion sources liquidity from every decentralized exchange like Uniswap, 0x, and 1inch, and there's no sign-up required, no fees, and a blissfully easy UI. Simply connect your wallet at app.zerion.io. Now, back to the tutorial. And then we're going to head over to the Uniswap page, because what we want to do is supply liquidity to the ETH DAI pair on Uniswap. As you can see here, there's a bunch of other different pairs. Not a lot, but a decent selection. Some of the quote-unquote safer ones anyway. We have DAI, we have Tether, we've got wrapped BTC, we've got USDC. But the one we want is this one, DAI ETH. So if we now click on supply, I can see that I have a token balance of 10,000 DAI, 90 ETH. So I'm just going to put in the full amount of DAI that I borrowed, and it will give me the equivalent amount of ETH. I can then supply. And again, we'll just wait for that to confirm. I'm also going to have a look in Compound. I might do something here as well. So now we go into Compound, and we're going to supply some ETH to Compound. Let's say 15 ETH. Supply that. And then what we'll do is we'll take a look at the dashboard and see how all our positions are factored in here. What else can we do on Uniswap? Does it allow us to swap? No, I think it only allows us to provide liquidity, but that's okay. So that's done. So now if we look at our dashboard, it will give you an overview of all the positions that you are in. So we have the 20,000 provided in liquidity to Uniswap. We've got a supply position on Compound. And it looks like we have another position here of supplied and borrowed on Ava V2. Nothing in Ava V1, nothing on Maker at the moment. But we could if we wanted to, and that's it. It's as simple as that. So it's a kind of nice way to feel your way into these different lending and borrowing protocols, completely risk-free. Like I said, it expires after 30 minutes, so you have to restart the session. But I kind of like the way it's so simple to manage your DeFi positions. If I'm honest, I kind of prefer the Zapper layout and the way that Zapper is set up. But there is no doubt these dashboards are really useful if you're managing a number of different positions simultaneously, and for just getting in and out. I kind of like the way it's all nice and cleanly arranged together. But of course, if you want to go deeper, there are always different games that you can play. But I would keep an eye on this just for the Polygon migration. So you can move assets over to Polygon using what it looks like a bridge built into InstaDapp as well. I've been really impressed with Polygon recently. Just the speed and the cheapness of it, it's nice. There's not as much there as you would find on Ethereum, but it's growing fast. And the more there is to do there, the longer you're going to stay there, which I think is a good thing. Once you get used to transactions completing in a couple of seconds for pennies, yeah, it becomes a lot more fun to interact with DeFi protocols. So I'd like to see more of that, please. Anyway, that's it for today. That was a really super simple tutorial. But if you are one of those people who really wants to imagine what it's like to have 100 ETH, there you go. InstaDapp. Try it out. That was your tutorial. Peace.